believe it or not, the only difference between these two lanyards is the fact that they have a different starting stitch, as you can see. And this is the starting stitch for the iconic zebra stitch lanyard, of course. I have another one here, and you can see this one, the black and white are interlocking. It still gives you the same lanyard, but I personally will try to avoid that next time. But if you do get this pattern, don't worry, you can still make this lanyard, of course. So with that, we can get started with the materials. And of course, those materials are going to be 4 strands. You need 2 strands that are the same color, or different colors if you want, that are going to be your outside color, as you can see here with the pink. But of course with this one, you can see the solid colors are 2 different ones, the blue and green. And you need your zebra colors that are black and white, but you can make these 2 any colors you want as well. And our starting stitch for this lanyard is something that we've never done before, so pay very close attention. But if you're finding that you're having trouble, maybe go back and make some other lanyards and then come back to this one when you feel like you're ready. But if you do feel like you're ready, we can go ahead and get started now. Of course, this should come as no surprise, but you need to find the centers of all 4 of your strands. And I don't know if I said this before, but if I didn't, you need all of these strands to be the same length, of course. And you're going to separate your solid colors from your striped colors, just like this. You're going to take your solid colors and hold them in your right hand, and take your striped colors and put them in your left hand and bring them over and around the solid strands, just like this. Now you're going to grab the 2 loops of the solid strands and you're going to pull the top ends of this, and these should be in your front. So I'm going to pull this down, so that's around where the center is. So you should have something like this. Now you're going to take your black strand, you're going to hold this in the middle, you're going to take your black strand, and you're going to keep them at the top like this. You're going to take your white strands. If you let go of them like me, that's okay, but I have them. I'm going to pull them to the right. So you have something like this. And now, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure your 2 solid strands are right next to each other, that they're not crossing over each other. And now here's what you're going to do. This next step may be a little tricky, but I believe in you. You're going to take your bottom left strand and you're going to bring that up to the top left. So you have a loop here and a strand there. You're going to take your top left, which is the same strand, just the other end. You're going to bring that over to the bottom left. So you have a loop and a strand. Now you're going to take your bottom right. You're going to bring that up. And make sure these aren't interlocking. So now you have a loop and a strand. And then you're going to take your top right, bring that down to the bottom right. So you have a loop and a strand. So you should have something that looks just like this. And you can see the white is kind of peeking out there, and we're about to mess with those in a second. So keep them. Why don't you take them and pull them over your hand like this. So now you're going to take your black strands, you have your top one here and your bottom one. You're going to take your top one, you're going to bring it over this strand, under this loop, over this strand, and under that loop. And you're going to keep this at the very top of your lanyard. Just like this. Now you have your 2 white layers here. I have my top layer, and I'm gonna bring that over, under, over, under. And you're gonna have that right underneath your first black layer that you brought across. Make sure that's not twisting. It's twisting. I gotta make sure it's not. There we go. Now you have your bottom black layer. You're gonna bring that over this, under this, over this, under this. And if you ever forget which way you're supposed to pull a strand, if you're supposed to pull it over or under, just look at what's right next to it and you do the opposite of that. You can see it tucking itself under a little bit, but you can keep it over. And this needs to be over this loop. Now you're going to take your final white. Sorry about my lamp. You're going to go over, under, and under. So now, making sure everything is interlocking with each other, I'm going to pull your thumb out and make sure nothing is twisting, and you can pull the whole thing together. So you should have something like this. And here's that back stitch. As you can see, the black and the white are not interlocking with each other, which is good. I prefer them to not interlock. So yeah, the oranges are gonna kind of like be scrunched together, which is normal. But you can try to straighten them out if you want. I personally don't care, so I'm going to leave them as is. Just trying to pull it apart a little bit to show you. But yeah, you can see there's only black on one side, only white on the other side, and only orange on the other side. But if you're using 2 colors, you'd have one color up here, that same down there, and then different color up here, and that same color down there. So now, from here on out, all you do is tornado stitches. So I'll do one of those to just show you, And also, if you're not happy with the way your strands are lined up, if some are uneven and you don't like that, you can loosen this up and pull them and tug them and turn them to be as even as you want them to be. But if you're good with everything, you can just do your tornado stitches. I'll do mine for you right now. I'll do one. For the black. You can see out of the entire lanyard, these two are the only ones that intersect with each other. Oh, that's a mistake. Intersect with each other or alternate between each other in the lanyard. I'm going to take my final black, my final strand that goes this way. It's always hard when you do the one in the front first because it likes to fall right over these loops. Looks a little crazy. I'm going to pull that together. And it all makes sense. And just like any lanyard that represents a box or a rectangle, the more stitches you do, the less the lanyard will curl up on itself, and the stitch will be less wonky looking as you keep going. So yeah, keep doing your stitches, and I'll come back when I'm ready to finish it with you. Alrighty, so I'm done with the lanyard. This is the length that I want, and the strands are running out. So now I'm gonna finish this off the same way that we finish the quad or the tornado, the exact same way, okay? Just bring the strands straight across. There's no more tornado stitching. These are kind of hard because these strands are getting really short. And tighten it, but not all the way, of course. And take the strands, bring them around, and through the spot in the center. Let's start with this one. These strands are getting really short. Yeah, I'll do that one last because it'll just fall out anyway. Let's get this last one in. We're going to pull that tight. That's what I've got going on. It looks kind of ugly. But you know, I'll fix this off camera and I'll come back. So yeah, these strands are a little bit too tight for me and I kind of don't feel like going back and fixing them, but you can also just take all the strands and tie one big granny knot at the end as well, if you want to finish them off like that. But I tried to tie it the way I did my other two ones, and sometimes they don't come out exactly the same, but this isn't coming loose anytime soon, so I guess it's not really that bad. So yeah, that's kind of what I have. Might be unsatisfying to look at, but this is still, even if you don't, it doesn't come out exactly the right way, it still works. So I'm just going to cut the ends off. And I can toss those out, of course. And minus the goofy knot at the end. With that, you've completed the zebra stitch lanyard. And here are all three, all nice and pretty. You can see even this one looks kind of weird at the bottom. But yeah, this is what you got. And try out as many color schemes as you want, because they can look really good together. So yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.